Welcome, everyone, to the Med Spa Accelerator Podcast, brought to you by Everable Marketing, the go-to resource so you can get the latest hacks and best practices so that you can market and grow a profitable medical aesthetics practice. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Med Spa Accelerator Podcast and to this new year.
Oh my God, it's 2020.
Yes, the first official week of 2020. If you're like most of our clients who were out on vacation up until this week.
Yes. Oh my God, can you believe that? It's 2020.
It's 2020. It's the new decade. It's incredible to think back to everything that happened this year.
I know.
Yet alone the entire decade. It's insane.
Lisa and I were going to visit his parents, and they live like an hour away or something. And we were just talking about everything that we've done in a decade, and we were like, we were such babies.
I know. Yeah, it's insane. And then there was that whole trend going on of like putting your picture 10-year self ago or 10-year ago self to your today,
current,
right, your current picture. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like
yes
it looks
wow,
so funny.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
but
so
I'm excited.
I'm definitely excited for 2020. I'm excited for this new decade. We definitely got some really great content prepped for you guys. We got planned for this coming year, and we're excited to be bringing you guys this new content. So thank you so much for sticking with us as we kind of go into this new year. And again, don't forget to like us, to review, leave us a review, leave us a comment, follow us on YouTube, subscribe on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you're listening to the podcast.
And let us know how you're liking it. We would love to know. What is it that you're having trouble with? What do you want to know more of? What do you want us to talk about?
Yeah.
Or if you even want to be on the podcast.
If you want to be on the podcast, let us know. So we're excited about that.
We're also really excited because look at what we're wearing.
What? We got Patient Gem swag. So as you guys know, this podcast is brought to you by Patient Gem, which is the tool that we use for marketing automation, two-way text messaging, email marketing, your managing your opportunities pipeline, like your CRM,
all the things,
everything, review management, everything. So we got some cool shirts. So for all of our clients who's kind of joined Patient Gem, they'll be getting some cool swag coming at them through mail. So we're excited about that. If you want one, let us know.
I know. That'd be so
we should make some Med Spa Accelerator shirts too. I don't know why we hadn't thought of that.
And mugs. I'm always with my mug in the show. Yeah. We should probably have one by now.
Definitely, yeah.
So if you're watching this on YouTube and you're checking out our shirts, let us know below.
Yeah, let us know what you think. Like, would you actually wear it? Like, be honest.
Yes.
Let us know. All right, guys. So without further ado, let's dive into this week's episode. What we got for you guys is the 5 things to make to make 2020 your best year yet.
Yes.
All right.
We're really excited about this. We were talking about all the things that you could do, but there are so many, but we had to narrow it down to 5.
Yeah, we had,
5 of the most important ones.
Yeah, 5, and then we were like, you know what? We need to add a bonus in there because there's just one more that we felt really strongly about. And so make sure to stay and watch or listen to the end of the video so you can get that bonus, that we have planned for you guys as well. So let's go ahead and dive right in. What is the first one?
So the first one is plan ahead and set your goals.
Oh gosh, so important.
Yes, if you've been listening to the podcast, you know how big we are on planning and setting goals, and we talk about it again and again. And it is just that important because it gives you that where to start. Like if you don't have a goal, you don't know what you're going to be doing. You don't know what you're walking towards. Yeah. And they are different than resolutions. I feel like resolutions for the new year is always like a thing. Yeah. But let's be honest, like, do you really, actually do something for that? And if you change that resolution to an actual goal, I feel like you have this mindset of like, this is what I'm going towards.
I think you put yourself better in position for success, right? And so we're actually... there's a little subset of an episode we're going to do moving forward here, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I mean, like Bailey said, we definitely want to make number one about planning ahead and setting your goals. And I mean, it's something super basic and simple, But you'd be surprised how many people we talk to a lot of the times, and I ask them, well, what is the goal? And a lot of times they just don't know, or they have a vague idea of what their goals are. And so we want to encourage you to really take the time and assess the previous year, so 2019, right? How did you do? And you can look at it from different standpoints, but you can look at it from a revenue standpoint. How much money did your business make? You can look at it at like, how many maybe technologies did you acquire, or were you able to grow a specific service or technology that you recently acquired? Maybe you're looking at it from a team point standpoint, or maybe you were able to build your operations, right? So look at where you're at right now, and then where do you want to go in the next year, right?
I think that's so important.
100%. And so the way that we do it here at Everable, and that we train our clients to do it, is that you obviously set your year goal, and then you break that into chunks, right? Now, then from there you look at, okay, well, how can I divide this on a quarterly basis and set goals per my quarter? And you look at it like at a progression, right? So like what's step number 1, step number 2, 3, and 4, and you kind of put those, and you put that as far as quarterly goals, and then now it's just not such a big goal that you're kind of looking at, and you have no idea how you're gonna solve. But you kind of make it into chunks, and you figure out what needs to go first, so that you can get to that ultimate goal.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, and I love that too, what you said, because a lot of the times is that people, when they know what they want to do, but there is no way to measure that.
Yeah.
And I think like having a measurable goal is so important, because it gives you that, again, that standpoint of like, where am I going to go and how am I going to get there?
For sure.
So having those like already numbers and looking at the past and looking what you did and how can you improve from there?
Yeah. And so one of the things that also we kind of like to look at as well is like, where are you at within your business? We've identified 4 different stages, and then depending on of growth, and depending on which stage you're in, then there's certain things that you need to do to get to stage 2, 3, or 4, right? And so that also kind of goes in line with your goals. We're actually going to do another episode on that specifically. So make sure that you obviously subscribe, right, and stay tuned, because that one's going to be really cool, and we're going to give you actionable advice and goals that you should be setting yourself depending on where you're at within your business. And usually it has a lot to do with like where you're at revenue wise, right? You can't really, you can't run before you're crawling, right? And so you have to kind of take it step by step. But in talking about goals, like there's certain different things that you can outline. So like I said earlier, you can look at it from a revenue standpoint. You can look at, okay, well, do I have my operations in place? I want to, by the end of this year, I want to have my entire operations in place, so that when I hire new people, we're going to onboard them like that. Or it can be something in regards to, like I said earlier, bringing on a new technology, different things like that. You can kind of set those goals so that you can work towards accomplishing them.
And you can even set goals further away, so it doesn't have to be just the 1 year, but what do you want to do in the business like 5-10 years from now?
Removing yourself from the business,
right.
You know what I mean? Or like certain tasks that you don't want to do anymore, and hiring somebody for that type of stuff.
Yeah. You stole the words from
me. I'm so sorry.
No, that's good. Oh, God. Yeah, no, exactly like that. So it's just really important to also see that 5 to 10 year picture, because that way you can also, like you say, reverse engineer it into what is your 1 year goal? Like, what do you need to be doing right now and in this year for you to get to that goal in 5 to 10 years?
Definitely. So number two. So number 2 is creating content, reusing it, and repurposing it, guys. So again, like so you guys know, we're really big on content marketing. Like I've said before, right now in this industry specifically, there's a lot of misconceptions about the technology that is out there, as far as like what is the best technology to solve my problem, whether it's whether it's fat reduction, whether it's getting rid of certain skin issues, different things like that,
wrinkles,
right?
cellulite, skin tightening.
And so that presents the unique opportunity for you to create content so that you can establish yourself as the market authority in your local area. So creating content and then also reusing it is another big thing. If you already have content that you've created before, I was talking to a prospect one time, and she was doing a really good job of creating content, but like nobody would see it.
Yeah.
So
every time you post something, only 30%, if that, of your audience actually sees it. So it is important, and we've said this before in the podcast, even if you feel yourself being repetitive, it's okay, because not everybody, you're not. Yeah. And you need to tell people this again and again, just so they can actually grasp the content and to get that relationship going. So content creation is so important. It started like in 2018 was like when everybody kind of really started to grasp that. And don't feel too that like, because there is so much out there that, oh, well, there's already a video on Botox, why do I need to make one? Yeah. Because it's not you.
Yeah, because it's not you on that video.
Yes. And you need to make sure that you're targeting the audience that is around you. So as much as I want to see a cool sculpting video made by like the brand Cool Sculpting, if I see one from somebody that's in my local area, it is more than likely that I'm going to end up going there, because I feel like I can trust them. They know their technology, they know what they're talking about, and I'm going to trust them with my face or body.
For sure. And that's the thing, like when they start seeing you in camera, they're going to start to feel an affinity and a loyalty towards you, right? Because you without knowing it, you're building all this trust and credibility. So when they come and see you, they're going to feel like they already know you, and it's like such an interesting thing that happens when it comes to like videos and other stuff. You don't know who's at the other end of the camera, right? Just like we don't know, that you guys are out there, but we believe it and we've seen it, right? But that's like the best thing, because now it's like there's this sense of that the people that are watching these videos, right, or listening, start to have an affinity, a loyalty towards you, and they start to see you as the expert that you are. And that's what I tell people all the time, like, you're already an expert at what you do. The problem is that how do we get that, outside of these four walls that you've built for yourself? A lot of people struggle with that. And really it goes back down to creating content.
And like we said, like it's not just about creating content again and again and putting yourself in that position of stress because you feel like you have to be creating all this content, but reusing it and repurposing it again and again. So making sure that you, even if you plan a couple of videos a year, then you can still keep working on that.
Yeah, and so the whole thing about repurposing, guys, is actually pretty awesome, because I'll give you an example. We went to go shoot some videos for some of our clients, and I think we had like 8 scripts or so. I don't even think we got through all of them. But out of those 8 videos, we actually ended up creating about like 35 videos, because we repurposed them. And so that same video, we repurposed it for Facebook, for Instagram stories, for YouTube.
For their website.
Yeah, for their website. We did a 5-minute video. We did a 30-second video. We did a 2-minute video. Like, so there's so much stuff. Yeah, clips, right? So there's so many different things that you can do to repurpose that content so that you can really squeeze the juice out of it. All right, number 3 is going to be encouraging and nurturing your staff members, guys. So
this is huge.
Yeah, so we've had a few episodes talking about, how important it is to train your staff and really nurturing them, because they are kind of like the face of your business, right? Obviously they're helping you do so much in your business. Yes. So it's just super important that they stay motivated and excited about what they're doing day in and day out, And so a lot of that times it's about doing additional training, taking them on retreats, treating them well, taking them out, as ways to encourage them, or, obviously make them feel happy about where they work at,
Yeah.
So that's just going to be
We've seen a huge difference within our own company.
Oh, for sure.
The way we've built our team, the way we've brought the experts into each of their area. They love what they do already. It's just a matter of encouraging them, giving them the right tools that they need to make sure that they do their best work. And in the end, it's just going to be a lot better for your clients to come in and kind of see that. They're going to feel that in the environment.
Definitely. So we can't really stress that one enough. That one's really, really important for really any business, because you can't grow by yourself, right? You need to have a solid team that's going to be behind you, helping you take your business forward.
Right. And this goes along too with your goals. So maybe in your 1-year goal, 5-year goal, 10-year goal, you want to either step out of your business, or if you want to have a bigger team, this will definitely have to be involved somehow. So making sure that you spend the time to get to know your staff, what is it that they need, what you can supplement, what you need to make sure that they know, so you can get to that goal, whether again it's stepping back, selling it.
And going back on stepping back, what Billy says, like, I mean, obviously you're kind of in a place right now, depending on where you're at in those 4 different stages that I talked about in your business, where you might be doing everything. And so obviously the goal as a business owner is that you want to step away from, doing the day-to-day tasks, right? So part of your yearly goal can be that, obviously I want to step away. So then what does stepping away look like? What are some of the things that you want to hand off to other people? And then once you've done that, now you know what type of person you need to hire so that they can kind of take over those different roles that you're currently doing right now.
Yeah.
And again, like, even for us, like Billy and I, when we started in 2019, we were a 3-man going into a 4-man team. Yeah, you're right. So, ending 2018, starting 2019, we were 3/4-man because we had just hired our 4th person, but they weren't starting till January 2019. And so we said, you know what, by the end of the year, we want to have 6 people. We ended the year with having 9 people, guys. So we were super excited, obviously, because, that was kind of like one of the goals that we had in mind. But we knew what we wanted to look for, and we knew in what progression we needed to bring people in. So that's definitely something to look at.
And I feel like that's sometimes a little bit hard, especially when you're a solopreneur or entrepreneur. You want to do everything, and you feel like you have to do everything because nobody else can do it like you. Right. But that's not true, and that's something I've had to learn as well. Where do I want to go? Where are my talents best spent at? And then bring in somebody that can do what I can do, or how can I teach them? Which kind of goes into our next point, which is operations. So making sure that everything that you are doing in the day-to-day, and you want to end up handing out to somebody, or something that your staff is already currently doing, putting that into your standard operating procedures, making sure it's in a handbook, in some sort of way that you can teach somebody else. Even if that staff member ends up leaving for whatever reason, you can make
quickly onboard.
Right. Yeah, quickly onboard somebody else.
Yeah, so 100%, guys. So point number 4 is to work on your operations, right? You need to have the systems in place to, like Billy said, when somebody leaves or when somebody comes in, you can quickly onboard them into your company ethos. You can onboard them into how you do things specifically in your business, because that's what sets your business apart.
Completely.
How you set yourself apart. It really goes back down to how you do things specifically in your business, right? And so you want to make sure that stuff is being passed down to your staff members so they can make sure they get it right 100% of the time. And a lot of the times it's just a checklist of things they should be doing when certain scenarios happen in your business, right?
So make sure to take the time to sit down and list all the things even when little problems arise. So how do you handle those? How do you want them to be handled? And some of the things that people have had trouble with, your staff members, that they're constantly asking questions about, those are things that you do not need to be answering 1,000 times a day. It's something that they can quickly learn and ask the next person, or already teach the next person what's
100%. So that's really good. Part of having SOPs, right, standard operational procedures, is going to be creating systems to have more efficiency within your organization, because that's what patient gen comes in, guys. That's mainly because like I said, you want to have efficiency. Now, there's certain things in your business that a human should be doing, and there's certain things that you probably have a human doing right now that you shouldn't have, and that, again, that's just going to create efficiency, and going to make the person that you have doing specific things kind of focus more on profit producing tasks. So that's another big important thing. So that goes as part of your operations, creating systems in place to have better, at the end of the day, marketing automation in your business. And so we've done a few episodes on that, on the different type of operational procedures. We have the episode that we did on your patient acquisition journey. That is basically one SOP that you should have within your business of what are your best practices, different things like that. So make sure you check out that episode.
You just need to use technology to your advantage. There's so much out there and so many things. I'm still amazed at so many things that can be automated with just a click of a button, and use your people's talents and what they really need to be focusing on instead of
doing it day to day, and it's such a manual task that they shouldn't be spending any time on. I'll give you a really good example. We were actually on one of our bi-weekly calls with our client today, and one of the things that we realized was that after somebody ends up purchasing a treatment in her business, 3, 7, and I think 14 days after, they actually just text them or they call them just to see how they're doing, right? And how they feel, how the procedure has gone, so on and so forth. And so what we identified is that they were doing that manually, and that they didn't need to be, especially if they're doing it through text message. With Patient Gem, you can automate a follow-up, 3 days later, just saying, hey, just wanted to check in with you, see how you were doing. And it's super personal, and it's accomplishing the task of them having to go in and remember to follow up with these people. They don't have to do that anymore. Like, the system will automatically do that. And when somebody responds, then they'll reply back to them, but they don't have to go in there and manually type that message every single time. And
it's something else that you have on the back of your head that, oh my God, I need to do that. And then so many daily tasks come up that you end up forgetting, and you don't give the personalized and experience that you want for every single client, right?
100%. So that's a really good example. So that's number 4, work on your operations and your systems. And guys, number 5, which is going to be super important, once you're kind of in a good place, that you have the foundations, you have the team, now you're in a place to really start scaling your business. What you're going to need is a predictable way to acquire new patients on a consistent and perpetual basis. Okay. So obviously, you want to make sure that you have good systems and good marketing campaigns that know that every time you spend X number of dollars, you're going to get a new patient, and that patient is going to spend X dollars on average with you, right? And so, it's going to cost you $100 to bring in a new patient, and on average, that patient is going to spend $500 with you, okay? That's what you want to try to acquire. That way, that it's predictable. Every time you put in $100, so that's the thing. Like, if I have this system, then I know what it's going to take to scale, right? I know that I just have to put in $100 every time I want to get a new patient, and then that's, and that's what you want to get to, right?
So if you're actually working with a marketing company, or you are doing this yourself, you should ask yourself that. How much money do I have to put every time so I can get a new customer? And if they can't answer that, then you should really take a look at what they're doing.
And definitely come talk to us right after.
Yes.
So really, guys, that's really what you need to do to kind of take your business to the next level. Now, in addition to obviously figuring out a way to acquire new patients on a consistent basis, you also want to not only obviously focus on that, but we've talked about it before, which is focus in on your current database and building the lifetime value of your current database, which is something that we've talked about before. We have episodes on how we are actually doing that for our clients, and literally you can watch that episode, follow the steps that we gave you, and you can start doing that today. Start getting results today, guys. If you need help, reach out to us, because that's the service that we provide to our clients as well. So just let us know.
And we've had listeners actually do that and go through the procedure and gotten really good results.
Yeah, we've had people that weren't clients. They listened to the episode. They got amazing results. They reached out to us letting us know what those results were. So it's super cool. And if you currently are one of those people and you haven't reached out to us yet, make sure to reach out to us and let us know how you're doing.
We'd love to know.
Yeah, we'd love to know. So that is it, guys. Those are your top 5 things that you need to do this 2020 so that you guys can start seeing your best year yet. So again, just to recap, number 1 is going to be planning ahead and setting your goals, then breaking down that goal into sizable chunks so that you can then reverse engineer growth or kind of that whole process, right?
Number 2 is to create content, reuse it, and repurpose it.
Yes. And then number 3 is going to be encouraging and nurturing your current or your staff members. Yeah, or your future staff members. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And number 4 would be working on your operations and setting those standard operating procedures.
Yes. And number 5 is working on a predictable acquisition model for patients and then trying to increase the lifetime value of your current patients, guys.
Yeah, that is the bonus, right?
No.
Oh snap! I thought that was the bonus.
So that's number 5. The bonus, I mean, it's kind of it goes in hand with increasing the lifetime value, but we, like I've said before, we believe that memberships are like the holy grail of any business. And so we want to encourage you guys to spend time on building your membership programs. Really, there's nothing like having a business that is generating revenue for you on a monthly basis that is consistent, guys. Yeah. If you're always trying to find the next patient, every month is going to be you're going to be very stressed out because of the fact that you have a business that's essentially a leaking bucket, Like you have a bucket, you're filling it with water, but at the bottom there's all these holes, right? And so that a membership business solves that problem because, right, you're basically going to build this little cushion of revenue that's coming in every single month. And if you can at least cover your overhead, your basic monthly expenses, then every other sale you make that month is all profit for the most part, right? Yeah. And you can really look at growing your business. So work on kind of formulating some membership programs and then start pushing those out to your current database as much as possible.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So that's your bonus.
That is a great bonus, actually. I love that because, there are so many ways to create these membership programs in so many different services.
Yeah, it depends on the service that you have. So it has to be very custom to what you're kind of doing right now. Yeah. But, it's a amazing way to grow a business because you get people in on, most people, the way they do it, they come in a 12-month contract. Mm-hmm. And then there you have a client for 12 months, it's amazing.
Yeah. So depending on where you're at in those first stages that we will talk a little bit more about in another episode, but this has to be something that is within your goals, whether it's in a yearly goal, 5 years, 10 years from now.
Yeah, you can start doing that now.
Make sure to add that there. Start thinking about what is it that you want to do later on in the future and write it down. So that way what are the steps that you need to take, what are the things that you might need to do before to make sure you get there to that point. Because once you are there, you're golden.
Yes, awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. That concludes today's episode. Again, like Billy said, don't forget to like it, to comment on it, to leave us a review, share it with your friends and family. We would really appreciate it, or other owners,
business friends
that you network with. Happy
2020.
Happy 2020.
We wish you guys the very best in your business, in your lives, with your families and friends. And we'll see you in the next episode.
All right. Catch you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.